Hello and welcome to Soulstorm LP. I'm of course a game operator and narrator Soul. Welcome back to the Pegasus expedition. This is unfortunately the fourth time I've attempted to record this video. The first time the video was corrupted on YouTube. And of course, due to my limited space on my computer, I never did get the chance to save the backup copy. Second time, the audio didn't record. Third time, OBS decided to shut down my audio about halfway through, so that's awesome. So I was kind of torn between putting up a video where there was no speaking on my part whatsoever, or giving it one more go. So we will be picking up one turn into where we left off from the previous video. So hopefully that doesn't jar anyone too much. In the meantime, let's kick the tires and light the fires then, shall we? So yeah, where we left off, we're going to be dealing with a little bit of an infection issue. We got lucky Bo was not actually outright infected. Director, colleagues, looks like the Ancorum Derelict D1A2, which contained this infection, wasn't the only one. We have received news of similar events from other parts of the galaxy. The infections are expanding rapidly. Based on the information we have, it appears to be capable of consuming anything organic, no matter the species. And doesn't end in taking over single bodies. There have been sightings of even spaceship-sized structures, all made of biological material, you know, obtained from victims. Jabot, that's, I don't know, horrifying. Even a single inhabited planet seems to give it a lot of material, which directly affects its strength. We're working hard on figuring out its biology. In a sense, it's quite a wonderful life form. The adaptability is just something unbelievable. Quite wonderful, sure. Strategically, it gets significantly stronger from having its way of civilian targets. It also seems to prioritize them, for some reason. So the highest priority should be preventing it from getting to any of our settled systems and destroying this infection in our space. Yes, if we can gain control of the system and of its origin, we can probably purge the main hub. That should be and put an end to our local strain of biomass. Well, if we manage to do that, but it takes over the whole Malkusheth clans elsewhere, it's still going to get unstoppably strong. I'm afraid so. We need a concentrated, multinational effort to stop it. The Darius fleets have summoned the EWC. Even the US fleet has contacted us about this biomass. The meeting will be soon. In the meantime, we'll keep doing what we can. I really hope this EWC meeting will be fruitful. Good luck. They haven't been that way for a while. They haven't. Yes, good luck. So, right off the bat, you know how we were sitting there being all happy and giddy that, hey, we managed to accidentally awaken the flood and we didn't lose the system? Yeah, that's a lie. We lost Bo. And by losing Bo, we lost a lot. And I mean a lot of our economy. Like, what a wonderful place for that to be in. So, right off the bat, it still makes me sad every time I see it. What we're going to do is we're going to run over here to Corwin 1. Now, thanks to the technology we have actually researched, we've actually made this planet habitable. And even better, it's a very large section of habitability. So we're going to add an industrial outpost here. We're going to slap a governor on here as well. We're going to need rare earths. Ooh. You know what? This is actually kind of nice. 10% mineral production and population growth. Might have to take the double. Alright, so settlements going in, power plants going in. We're going to actually pull these mines right out of here. And we're going to drop down some rare earth mines. Which require rare earth, which you don't have. So we'll drop down some strip mines instead. We don't have enough of that either. Cool, alright. Well, either way, we're going to have to spend some time here looking at our research as well. Warship construction is actually completed. Next thing we're going to work on is we're actually going to work on getting our flagships built up. We do have two tier 2 ships. We do not have the structures to build those at the moment. Now, the other thing we want to do too is make sure that this infection does not spread. And And that's going to require a mass gathering of all of our fleets that we can muster in the immediate area. As many ships as we can. We got a 59 in system already that's heavily damaged, but it is there. Kind of holding the tide back, as it were. We can bring our 74 in, and we can also bring in this 59. All right. Fingers crossed. Here we go. We gotta kill this right now. We cannot suffer this to spread. Full frontal. We'll hit them in one location. And if we get lucky, we should be able to nuke the crap out of the other location. Start working on that one. Yes, we can. Nukes out, missiles out. Cause as much damage as we possibly can. Our ships are taking a beating. A bad beating. Come on, boys. Pull it out. Pull it out of the fire. Ooh, Nelly, that's actually pretty rough. We got a black eye over this one. That is guaranteed. Hopefully enough artillery ships survived where we can actually still keep on putting down some support fire. We are going to need it. Alright, artillery is incoming, so that's good. We do have support fire. Man, oh man, oh man. This hurts. This hurts a lot. Especially with it being our main financial hub. Like, now we gotta rebuild. Ugh. Very painful. It is extremely painful. The biomass outbreak is somewhat under control. It still exists and probably always will in some form, but it's far from the critical point of growing unstoppable. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there was much of US or Darius activity. No, their efforts were rather limited, to put it kindly. There's no need to put it kindly. I think it's time to let them know what we all think of this in a non-kindly way. Being deliberately rough and unfriendly works sometimes. To be perfectly honest, I've already been both rough and unfriendly, but not that deliberately. Perhaps it's time to confront them about the current state of this alliance. Well, I wouldn't mind telling them some facts. Director? Let's assemble the EWC. We need to correct the direction this alliance is going in. That's number one. As you wish, sir. Alright, so we did manage to take Bo back. Good. We stomped that out pretty quick. Fleets are in rough shape, but they do have self-repair on, so they will be fine. We will have to replace the missing ships. Ideally, we replace them with tier 2 ships as soon as that stuff comes in. Additionally, there's also... where is it? Yeah, we got 2 settlements here we got to work with. We want to move a fleet to the Zaire system, keep it there. We'll move our 98 fleet into the system, hold it there. And we're going to have to take the other 2 and move them somewhere. This one's still being repaired, so we'll just leave it there. This one, however, needs ships. Ships it's not going to get because we're going to be focusing all of our income into rebuilding our devastated economy. That still requires 50 materials. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. So with that being said, it's time to hit the end turn button, see what happens. Yeah, and we are starting to suffer power, which is going to suck the life out of our short-term happiness. Which in turn is going to completely screw up everything else that we got going on in the background for making sure our resource production is top-notch. Which is even better. Plus our supply hub chain at Bo is busted. So we got to fix that. Seriously, if this was like some random star system this happened in, I wouldn't care. But of course it had to happen right in our main resource hub. There have been interesting theories flying around among our science teams. Many quite firmly believe that the biomass has to be of Ancorum origin, not just because of where it was found, but how. It seems to have been heavily engineered. Something you might want to ask the Ancorum PPG about. We'll ask him about that. Might even help fight the biomass. Very well, sir. Evan says they are ready to meet you soon. Oh, good. Minister Medan isn't here, apparently. And against all my expectations, you are here, Reed. Yes, it seems we have been somewhat successful with the biomass. We have, but not in the way we planned together. You know, Admiral Reed, I've started to wonder what represents us. What are you implying? We're not going to interfere. You, not we. Please, be reasonable. We... don't interfere? It's you alone. There is no we. We have been reasonable long enough. You come here only when it suits you, expecting that we are waiting, ever ready to cooperate. I used to think you were a man of common sense, but you've lost that. We are not in this together, it seems. The Union is in this alone. I have no idea where you are. The situation is different now. It's not like the early days anymore. We are no longer an invading fleet. We are now de facto states. We have a lot more things to take into account. No, we don't. We were and still are here for a single purpose, and it seems that you've lost sight of it. Listen, Samuel. There are a lot of people in Pegasus nowadays. Millions. Are we all here only to sacrifice ourselves for a potentially lost cause? When is a sacrifice asked just too much? I can see where you're going. That is a dangerous way of thinking, Samuel. I'm only advocating for using our own brains for a change. What does the leadership back on Earth know about the situation in Pegasus? They don't take it lightly when you tell them they are asking for too much. They're asking for a chance of survival, for God's sake. I've had enough of this. I do have a point, don't I? No, I've had more than enough of this. You tread a dangerous path that'll lead to a dead end, Samuel, and we won't be there to help you. Not anymore. Goodbye. Yeah. The EWC meeting wasn't fruitful at all. Darius didn't even send a delegate. It was just Admiral Reed and me. Well, how did it go? He had some worrisome thoughts. What do you mean? He asked me if it was right that we were possibly going to sacrifice ourselves here for a potentially already lost Earth. Well, that is precisely the reason why we are here. If Reed is not ready to do that, he shouldn't have come here. I told him something like that, but we are now apparently self-sufficient states, and should start thinking about our own interests. Sounds like he's trying to justify something. Too bad he apparently found very little sympathy from you. The actions of the 1st Expeditionary Fleet are in need of some justification. We are supposed to be allies, but they hardly act that way. I'm a bit shocked. Admiral Reed used to be a great man, and I don't think we could have won at Annaba without him. But Dan wanted us to curl up and wait for the Empire to crush us, while it was Reed's idea to risk a gamble and cut off the Empress. He is a gambler for sure. Maybe he's playing another one right now? Maybe. We should not expect any help from them, at least. How much power does Reed have inside the U.S. fleet? Initially, not too much, I think. Something along the lines of LOD's position here. But I do not know of the recent developments. We hear so awful little from them nowadays. Should we try to do something? Interfere in some way? There's very little we can do, as we have no authority over them. And actual spying? Well, if we get caught, it's going to be a scandal, to say the least. Our intelligence department is a good one. I'd claim they're the best in this galaxy. But yeah, you're right. What if we propose something small but beneficial to them, that requires consulting the other key leaders? We might find out a bit more about what's going on and end up warming our relations a bit. Can't be about the military. We've consulted Reed well enough already. How about some intelligence sharing? We definitely have relevant information to offer. Let's throw them a hook, but require a meeting before we give them any intel. What do you think, Director? Well, that could work. Good thinking, Carolina. Unless we give them something we really shouldn't. Of course not. Don't worry, sir. That does sound like a potential plan. At least there's very little to lose here. Very well. I will contact them. Oh, Admiral Reed is here too. Yes, where else would I be? We too were wondering that last time. I was occupied elsewhere. We have our own problems too. Well, now we have a common problem, it seems. How did this thing appear, Admiral Ferron? You discovered it first. It was in a derelict Anchorum ship. You surely encountered some of these too. We have, but we've been very cautious when approaching them. Jack, like we haven't. Are you implying that we are not? Well, not necessarily. I do not know the details. The outbreak that happened in Zeus-Link space was the first one, but not the only one. And you've taken serious measures to contain it. Exactly. Our main objective should be to contain the remaining outbreaks. Unchecked, they will eventually grow to an unstoppable extent. That is right. But right now, most of our strength is tied to our current operations. It'll take a while to withdraw them. Our military forces are currently on an expedition, quite far away from these parts of the galaxy. We'll soon send them orders to start preparing their return. Ask them politely to do something. I trust that you will evaluate the priority of these different issues and act accordingly. We're doing our best, Admiral Ferron, and we'll be doing our best in the future as well. Very well. We will appreciate your future efforts. So about the Earth War Council meeting. At least everyone was present this time. Well, that's a start. And the results? Vague at best. Both Reed and Medan promised to take the situation seriously and to do their best and so on. Nice words for sure. Too bad words aren't very effective against the biomass. I hope their words will turn into action as well. We shall see. So, the Derelict is here. It's still partially powered up, which isn't necessarily a good sign. Yeah, no, certainly not. My researchers are not showing great enthusiasm of boarding it without proper protection. Our fleet is equipped for destroying enemy space vessels, not boarding abandoned ones, to be honest. I suggest tasking USOF instead. Agreed. Those guys have been trained for scenarios like this, and have the equipment as well. The Derelict is not showing any signs of activity, so I presume we could safely wait for the arrival of USOF. Yeah, though I think we should keep the fleet here, and especially once the USOF guys go in. They may need some support. Very well, we'll move the USOF operative there while keeping the fleet. Excellent, thank you. Alright, so we have our Derelict has arrived. There. We're going to keep a fleet here for a little bit, just to chill, keep an eye on things until we get somewhere to build a training center for our operatives, because we actually can't build any. We have no intelligence bureaus built up. You know, because of this. And in the meantime, we're still struggling to get everything back up and running again. It's going to take a long time for this to kick in. Rare earth resources are up. We need... Oh, I don't know. We need all manner of things here. We can build 3 of these. We can build, I think, 4 of these. Oops, that was the wrong button. And that'll leave us with 8 again. So we should be able to build an intelligence center there, get it up and running. Eventually, because we are really hurting on rare earth resources. Like bad. Bad. And to make matters worse, because we're hurting on rare earth resources, because of Bo, we're also hurting on all of our other minerals because of Bo. Because we were getting darn near 2,000 resources a tick. And we didn't get the time to enjoy it because someone wanted to poke a floating space artifact. Whoops. The other thing to keep in mind too is the power issue we seem to be suffering from. We do have some points in system where we can build, I believe we can build solar power, but we don't have enough rare earth resources to do it. So again, we're stuck on holding pattern. We do have some asteroid harvesters up and running though, so that's good. The bonus side is that we are currently surrounded on all sides by, and I'm finger quoting here, or air quoting, allies. So we don't have to worry too much about getting jumped. However, we are also kind of stuck here until we actually increase our diplomatic relations with everyone else around us. which is not going to be a thing that happens anytime soon because we usually have to trade information or materials or resources, and we don't have a whole lot of that either. So that's always fun. Meeting with the FEF leadership. The US accepted a request for talks about intelligence sharing. We'll be meeting with the top officials now. Reed will be present as well. Very good. Kick it off. Welcome, Director of the Zeus-Link Fleet, with Ministers of Inventory Yurik. We met during the evacuation of Nove Bruno, didn't we, Miss Yurik? Yes, I heard you stayed while we pulled back. I was pretty sure you wouldn't survive that. The intel was worth the risk. But anyway, I'm Johan Hartley, the Chief Intelligence Officer. Next to me is Harry Roche, the Chief Logistics and Engineering Officer. How do you do? I'm the Foreign Relations Officer, Maria Serrero. I've been handling the communications between us with Mr. Locke during our time here. And I'm Admiral Reed. I think you know me already. More or less. So what are your thoughts about our proposition? Given the recent inactivity of the Earth War Council, we thought bilateral negotiations could be more fruitful. The situation with the EWC is shameful. The EWC has fulfilled its role, and it did well back during the Annaba offensive. But we should face the facts. It isn't functional anymore. Look at the Daras. How long is it since your last contact with them? It's been a while, outside of the last EWC meeting, I guess. And do you know what they're up to right now? They're packing up in order to go to some sham golden world of theirs. So they are leaving after all. Oh, they are. And they're happily leaving us on our own. I'm not blaming them, though. I've been trying to get us through this for a while. But maybe we should start thinking for ourselves as well. Admiral Reed, this is highly inappropriate. That is not our official view. The official view isn't going to get us anywhere, Hartley. This is not the time and the place, Admiral Reed. Very well. I'm afraid you're trying to avoid the time and the place altogether. And that is not going to work out. Well, this is awkward. So, about our proposition. As the official diplomatic representative, I accept it on behalf of the 1st Expeditionary Fleet. We hold our cooperation with you in very high regard. To underline that, we will share with you some recent technological findings of ours. I will be in contact with your science department. Oh, what are you going to give us? I will consult Dr. Lorenz about our progress to see what would benefit you the most. Very well, thank you. We too value our alliance highly. And we hope to stay in contact. Let's not abandon each other too. Yes, we'll get back to you. Meanwhile, we have Chul Onbayer, Provisional Governor. Director, do you want to discuss something? Yes, would you happen to have any information about the biomass that we might not have? Why would we? Well, Dr. Lorenz believes that the biomass has been engineered to be what it is now. Who else would be capable of that except for you? It is not from this galaxy. It could have been created by anything. It was first found on a derelict Ancorum ship, likely coming here exactly from where you came. The pieces are starting to fit together, Admiral. Okay, I get it. You'd rather let it consume this galaxy as well. Suit yourself, then. Oh, very well. Perhaps we should give you an explanation. That what you call the biomass was originally an Ancorum system. It was a component to be fitted in an Ancorum body, based loosely on Ancorum stem cells. We managed to incorporate the ability to adapt to almost any biological tissue and to mend it, repair it, fix it. Well, that would be very useful if it worked correctly. It was just phenomenal at the time. It seemed able to repair any damaged biological component in a body, basically extending our relative immortality to withstand great physical injury. It was designated the independent regenerative system and fitted it to many individuals. But in time, it started to forget what we had coded it to do. It wouldn't just repair damaged tissue, it would take over healthy tissue, eventually even the brain. That is when it became a pandemic. You've seen how it behaves. We weren't ready since 2/3 of our population suddenly got infected and quickly infected most of the rest. That is pretty tragic. Beyond any words. We were at the highest point of any life form has achieved, and now it is more of a hindrance than an advantage, with primitives like you and everything else here. Well, how is that a hindrance? We were thrown into quite primitive circumstances, to say the least. The main problem is that we don't reproduce in the traditional sense. We clone and engineer new individuals, and I've always achieved perfection that way. But that is slow and requires extensive facilities and resources. Not something a refugee government has easily available. Right now, however, it looks like we need imperfect numbers instead of a select few perfect individuals. So it is now established that biomass is your creation. It's us fighting it right now and in the future. So is there anything you could do to help? We don't have much military power to offer. We can give you all the information about the IRS, the biomass that we have, but I don't think that it will change much. You have now experienced only a spark of the fire that burned our civilization, Director. You've seen nothing, and I do hope this galaxy never gets to see any of it. Well, I hope so too. Oh, and someone wants to meet us. Who's this? Evening, Carolina. The planetary invasion force has really proven invaluable here. Wouldn't have expected any less, though they are regularly doing the one thing they never got to do back home, planetary invasion. It's what we all trained for, after all. Something most of us dreamed of, at least until the first time of actually doing it, I'm sure. Those guys in UPIF know what they're doing, Director. The best ones you'll ever find. Have you ever thought about returning to the UPIF? To be honest, I'm not sure. Even though I'm working in the civilian administration now, I'll be a UPIF soldier for the rest of my life. But I don't know if I want to lead frontline troops ever again. No time or the information to make informed decisions. Your men die in any case. You just try to keep it to a minimum. Always wondering if you could have spared a few more. It's not the safest job, assaulting a hostile planet. The responsibility of a commander. I'm familiar with that. Director, speaking of responsibility, what would you have done in Nove Bruno with the UPIF? Sacrificed the South for the main colony? Or fought right there, unprepared? Well, all things, you can take territory back. I would have retreated and fought after having prepared properly. You should fight only when it's worth it. Besides, if the UPIF had stayed and got destroyed in the south, there would be even more blame from failing to protect the evacuation of the main colony. You need to be prepared to make sacrifices for the greater good. Ignoring that is plain naivety. You think so? I need to think about this. Anyway, thanks for your opinion. Anytime, Carolina. Okay, so we have severe power shortages. This is understandable. Another asteroid harvester has been completed, and Athena pattern lasers research has been completed. So at least that's a good thing. We're still a couple turns away from getting this power plant up and running. How much power does this produce? Not enough. So ideally, we get a fusion power plant up and running. That still wouldn't be enough. We need a solar harvester. This baby cranks out a lot of power. And we don't have enough resources. We're lacking rare earth minerals. All right. We'll have to give it a turn. How's the rest of our fleets? Main fleet is sitting pretty. Oh, baby. 224. What a sight to behold. Bo, we have our fleets in station in orbit, slowly repairing. Secondary fleet, holding position 0. Keep an eye on the artifact. Well, all right. Now, the downside with Bo... Oh, Bo. Where are you? Not this one. This is Annaba. Why am I doing an Annaba? I'm looking for Bo. Well, explains why I couldn't find it. So here's the problem with Bo. We destroyed all the space structures. Yay, good us. Looks like everything else spread to the planet though, so that's kind of cool. We can take it back. But it's going to cost us. It's going to cost us 1,000 rare earth metals in order to completely purge the system back to the Stone Age and start again. So we're literally right on back to square one for our economy, which is not great. Like, not great at all. At all. So that's a thing. I'm so sad. Because we had just got our economy up and running to the point where it was a war machine. Better hit end turn. See what the next turn brings. See what new, fresh terrors await us. See if something else decides to come pouring out of there. Now, on the bright side, we do have fleets in system where the relics are positioned. Hopefully, they'll be enough. Hopefully. But we'll see. Just can't win. Just can't win. Hey, a little scientific cooperation. Director, Darius's Almostavara fleet has asked if we'd be willing to deepen our cooperation on planetary atmospheric research. They've really been focusing on finding very Earth-like planets, so I think we could learn a lot from them on that subject. The Minister of Science has suggested that we send our most relevant researchers to visit them and exchange data and theories. Yeah, sounds reasonable. Why not? Excellent. I'll pick the team. Chapter 5. The true colors. Oh no, now we're in trouble.
The final push was rapidly approaching. The time when we'd see whether this was all for nothing or not. Only then we'd see what each of us was made of, and it wouldn't always be what we'd expected.
Director Carolina, this is a disaster. The portal is down. We've lost contact with Earth. What the hell? What happened? We don't know. We have no idea. Awkward silence. This is it. It's over. There's nothing we can do. Come on, we must have some kind of idea what's happening. Yes, pull yourself together, Dr. Lorenz. I apologize. And don't worry about it. Where's Evan? He's contacting our allies. It's important that they hear about this as soon as possible. This will affect our operational capabilities quite a bit for a while. So what exactly happened with the portal? Did it just turn itself off? No, it doesn't appear like an internal malfunction. Some explosion-like phenomenon was recorded around it right before it went down. We are investigating. Someone blew it up. So how does this affect our situation right now? Directly, we've lost our support we've been getting from Earth. Getting the portal connection set up again will be very expensive, which will negatively affect our capability in other areas. I'm broke! The moral impact back on Earth must be devastating. They have no idea what has happened to us. That is why getting the portal running again is our absolute top priority. How long until the portal is functioning? We don't know if it's ever going to be functional again. We are investigating that as well. Oh, that's good. We have the capability to even construct a new one if necessary. But as you know, that's going to be an expensive and lengthy process. We've already started the preparations for that, because if we can't get this one running again, we'll be in a hell of a hurry to get the new one ready. Very well. Dr. Lorenz, report immediately when you know more about the portal. I will. It's probably nothing compared to this, but how did your visit to the first expeditionary fleet go? Hard to say, to be honest. They accepted our proposition, promised some technological cooperation, but something was off. Yeah, their leadership is in crisis. They started arguing amongst themselves. Yeah, right in front of us. Admiral Reed and Officer Hartley. They almost sound as functional as the EWC. Yeah, I wonder where all this is going. To hell. It's all going to hell. That's where that's going. Alright, so the settlement upgrade is complete. I'll start it anyways. Settlement's there. Hey! So we get some population in. Power plant's on next turn. We do have enough for a solar harvester, and we should probably build that right now, actually. Even better, we can build a couple of them, because we don't actually have any asteroids in system, so we don't have to really save anything. We also don't have any black holes in the area. No need for repair stations. Research stations might be cool, but we don't have that tech yet. We'll call that good for now. We can't build anything because we don't have enough rare earth material. Rare earth material. It's actually going to take 2 turns for us to get some. Which is disconcerting, to say the least. But hopefully it starts helping out, though, because short-term happiness below 15%, our mineral extraction had decreased by 50%. That is painful. And especially with the gate being down. Portal offline. Boo. What the heck? Yikes. And nothing else we can do right now. And again, at the same time, we have to save 1,000 rare earth metals in order to cleanse Bow and get that back up and running. I tell you, if it was any other system, it would have been just fine. We'd be laughing as we burned the flood from space. But no, had to be right in our ecological heartbeat, our heartland. Dear colleagues, the research on Project Argus, as our teams have named it, will soon be finished. We've encountered a few setbacks as expected, but now can be sure that we can finish the research. All major problems have been solved. Interesting. Can we start the preparations for the construction? Not just yet, but soon. We should start budgeting resources for it, though. It won't be easy nor cheap. This sounds kind of unbelievable, but I guess you know what you're doing, Dr. Lorenz. I appreciate your guessing, Miss Yurik. It's probably time to make the decision of committing to this plan, if we are going to. The best we can do, there's no reason not to try it. Precisely. Well, even if it fails in some way, it's not everything. When the plan is ready, we should probably seek assistance from our allies as well. Likely. So we'll keep working on the plan then, I assume. Yes, this may prove to be crucial eventually. Very good. Director, I heard what you discussed at the council. I suggest we try summoning the EWC one more time. The US and the Darius know about the portal. Perhaps that will awaken them to the realization that we need each other. Yes. Yes. Let's do it. Go ahead. You're right, Dr. Lorenz. This thing with the portal really had you upset. Director, I apologize for that. It was very unprofessional of me. It's perfectly alright. It's just human. Well, it's still precisely the kind of behavior I like to avoid at all costs. Having the situation change so suddenly, so much for the worse, just kind of caught me off guard. I assure you, it's not going to happen again. I promise you that. Seriously, there's no need to, but as you wish. Alright, power plant's up. Solar farm should be up. We should have... Yes, solar is up. We should be rolling in energy here again, which should start increasing our happiness. Oh, buddy, we got a long way. We got a long road to even basically 25%. That's nice. That's real nice. Of course, we could probably build... We can start building strip mines. Build one, exactly. Upgrading fusion power plants would also be an option. Offset all of our power requirements entirely. But we need minerals. We need the influx of minerals right now. It's the only way. It's the only way. Because right now we are sitting ducks. There's nothing we can do. I can't build anything. Because we didn't get a chance to bask in the glory that was our mighty financial empire we just built with Bo before things went south. That's all right. One more turn. I swear to God, if something happens to Korun, I'm gonna cry. Better not. I never did check to see if they had a supply hub too. Not much we can do now. Director, this is it. The lively last meeting of the EWC. Yeah, I think we get it now. Let's go. Feels like we've been alone for a long time, though. It doesn't get any clearer than this. Let's go. So nobody showed up. Oh, that doesn't bode well. Sir, I need your opinion if you got a moment. So far, everything we've been doing here has been strictly state-controlled, if you can call the expedition a state. In a sense, it is. Yes, so what about it? That means we only do things we can afford ourselves. There has been growing interest back home among some big private corporations to invest here, almost a desperate interest. Guessing they are preparing for the worst. So should we let them take part in our infrastructure efforts? That'd give us more funds to go with, and nosy corporation representatives to deal with. Is it worth it? Well, the portal's closed, so I don't know what's going on. We got a couple choices here. We can get the increase in funds, but then we might deal with some pushback because, you know, corporations. Or do we keep it strictly state controlled? No. The last thing we need is a bitter corporation lobbying the Parliament to change the leadership of the expedition. Fuel arrays has been completed. Rare Earth Refinery finally is up and running. Yeah, there's no transit station here. Wonderful. That's going to cost 100 rare earths. But it does improve resource generation in the system by 30%, which will be beneficial. As soon as we get the rest of our strip mines up and running. Alright, so we just need one more strip mine. One more. Okay, one more turn. We're so close. We were so close. Glory was in our grasp. We're still only at 5% for short-term happiness. Come on. I'd build big bouncy castles if I could, but we don't have the resources for it, so... Yeah. Get that short-term happiness up. Gotta get some pizza parties out. I have good news and bad news about the portal. The bad news is that was sabotage. What? There's no doubt about it. There are clear traces of explosives around the locations where explosions occurred. Who would do that? Well, we have enemies. And the news about our situation is spreading, which means we might have even more enemies soon. I wouldn't say we are weak right now, but we kind of look like that. Our intelligence department will start investigating the explosions. We'll find out who's responsible for this. So what's the good news? The portal appears to be repairable, though it will take some time. I would recommend that we start building a second one anyway, just to be sure. There is presumably a risk of another sabotage attempt. Well, that's a relief. How about the EWC meeting? What about it? We're not going to get any help from the EWC. That institution is now officially dead. Dead? Yeah, there's nobody except me. Quite a meeting. Well, that's not good news. However, interestingly, we received an invitation to meet with the U.S. leadership again. What? Why didn't they just send Reed to meet with me in the EWC? Well, that doesn't make any sense, for sure, but I see no reason to refuse. At some point, we've had enough of pointless meetings, but maybe not yet. The first expeditionary fleet has been acting very cohesively lately. They have to have some internal problems. Officer Roach did send us their latest findings, and some of them proved useful, so your last visit wasn't entirely pointless. So, we accept? I say we should. Yeah, we're going to. We need to find out exactly what the heck's going on. Yes, they haven't been a very good ally, but we need all the help we can get. Or at least the more we know, the better. If it becomes unbearable, just walk out. I wouldn't have expected you to give that kind of advice. It wasn't difficult to imagine you following that advice. I'll send them our answer. Okay. The Joe clan has been defeated. That's nice. Our governor is leveled up. Yeah, 12% population growth is leveled up. And structure cost reduction. Very nice. How much of a reduction? By about 5. 30 minerals and 5 rare earths. That's actually not too bad. There's a last strip mine in place. All we need now is 5 turns to get everything up and running. Do we even have 5 turns? I have no idea. No idea. We're gonna have to drop another solar harvester down as well. We need that 25% short-term happiness. We need it. There, I get this going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I think we're going to call it for this episode. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to swing on by and check it out. I do apologize for the lateness of the video. Again, things have gone sideways so many times. It's been entertaining, to say the least. But I do hope you enjoyed it as much as I have making it 4 times over. If you like what you saw, by all means, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to stick around with the channel. We do try to keep these instances on the down low or as minimal as possible, where there's no uploads. However, I am currently doing work and university at the same time, so we'll try and keep it going. I think I got it timed out perfectly where I should actually have steady uploads all the way through Christmas. Hopefully, fingers crossed. After that, we'll have to see. In the meantime, have yourselves a wonderful evening. Stay safe, stay warm, enjoy your family time, and I'll see you later. Have a good one, everybody.